Hey guys, it's Chris. If you've got a 690 or 701 and you've lowered the suspension, you've been searching for a kickstand foot to fit that Warp 9 kickstand, you're in luck. I've found one and I'll show you how to customize it to make it fit. That's right, if you've been searching like I have and trying multiple different kinds, oh my gosh, that round end of the kickstand foot on the Warp 9 kickstand is super hard to find something that's that wide. Most kickstands aren't that wide as much as most kickstands actually have a bigger foot on the end of them. This guy was super tough, and I reached out to Warp 9 and they didn't have a recommendation for me, so it's been kind of looking for a needle in a haystack, but I finally found one. I'll put the link in the description below. The only problem is that this top piece that clamps down doesn't have a big enough opening, so I'm gonna mark it up and use a hacksaw with that universal blade that cuts in all directions, and I'm just gonna manually cut out the groove here to make room for that Warp 9 kickstand to fit in here properly. Shouldn't be a terribly complicated process, but you never know. So primarily we want this kickstand foot to hang out and not hang in towards the swing arm. So when the kickstand is folded up, we want to make sure that that hangs out something in that fashion. And so in order to get the least amount of metal hanging in towards the swing arm, a rough rule of thumb, if you're doing this at home, is that this straight edge would be parallel to the bike or the foot peg. And then I think we'll get a favorable result. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off that top piece. So this just comes apart with a 3mm Allen key. The bottom of this foot is just the perfect width. So there's no play. All we have to do is make sure that we've got sufficient room for the top piece to fit around here. And this is going to be very secure. So I'm pretty pleased that I was able to find something that's exact fit. So this is the orientation I want. That straight edge on this side is parallel to the bike. And I drop the top piece on. This piece is too far forward and too far this way. So basically the hole here is about here and it needs to be back here. So that means about 1/8 of an inch needs to come off the leading edge of this top piece. So that would look something like so that's what that looks like. I'm going to start by carving off just about 1/8 of an inch there, just a smooth arc. So for today's work, there's a couple ways you can go. You can go with a coping saw. They tend to be not as aggressive, or you can get this kind of universal blade for the hacksaw. And then just to clean it up, either kind of a round file or the kind of file that's flat on one side and curved on the other side, which has more of a gentle curve to it, can be even better than a round file like that. That's all the tools that you're really going to need. So I get that position where it's parallel, slide this on top, and it looks like those holes are going to line up just right. So before I assemble it, put a drop of thread lock. There's a tiny bit of looseness in there, so I'd like to take up the space just add something inside to tighten it up. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's solid enough, I think, so that it doesn't make any noise. I'm gonna put a piece of two-sided tape inside of here just to squeeze it. I'd rather that it be snug and quiet. So that's just a 30-pound two-sided tape. Just take up some of the slack that's inside of here. I imagine that this kickstand foot is not quite as thick as what this is designed to work with. So by adding just a tiny bit of rubber, if you will, that's basically rubber, underneath the kickstand foot itself, this should take up any room and I should get a nice tight squeeze. All right, so that looks substantial. It's snug. It's not moving at all. It's clamped down nice and tight. It fits dead on. There's tons of clearance between the swing arm and the kickstand foot itself. So I think that should do a good job. All right, guys, so small victory, but a victory nonetheless. That kickstand foot was tough to find. Anyways, you've got the link in the information below. Hopefully this is all helpful for you. If it is, smash the like, subscribe to follow along, which helps other people find this content, and consider supporting the channel by swinging by my Etsy link. So glad you stopped by. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.